Are parliamentarian soldiers. They're brown soldiers. They were in fact the first soldiers to officially wear the red coat. And this is where the red coats came from. Formed in 1645, the new model army was an army developed by Parliament to fight against the king because their previous armies had not fared too well. Warfare has changed considerably since the time of the Vikings. As you can see, there are two sorts of foot soldier here. There are the soldiers armed with the pike. That's the long pole you can see in the centre of the unit, red coats, that you actually had English soldiers en masse wearing red. And it was only at this time that the English army began to be known for wearing its red coat. And there's also a story behind that. The reason the British Army wore red coats in 1645 was red material was the cheapest material available in London at the time. This was a way of giving a rolling form of fire, a constant fire you could keep up upon the enemy, as it took between 30 and 40 seconds for an experienced soldier to reload his musket. It was necessary to bring troops forward, have them fire, and then return them to the ranks while the next file was brought forward. As you can see, the battalion is now moving forward and yet is maintaining their fire as it goes. There's always one.
Already? Did you eat this already?
Yeah.
Melted.
Which one
No,
did you
not
have?
melted.
Which one did you have?
This time here.
Shall we go and have a look at the campsite?
Do you want to see the matchlock musket?
Oh, is it here? Oh. Okay then.
Well, you and I could walk.
Oh, we can leave the stuff here. Maybe it's just going to steal it.
The musketeers will now return to the pike and reform. You've just seen the musketeers go through the postures of loading. On a battlefield, an experienced musketeer would be much, much quicker. We've gone through it today as per the drill manual to demonstrate to you all the postures needed to load the musket. And recovering to the advance. Port of pike. The word port comes from the French This was a way of going through castle gateways with your pike division without losing the tops of the pikes. And now charge. Now taking the pike to the shoulder position. This is the position used on the march. It's the most comfortable way to carry a pike. And now charging to the rear. This was an emergency drill in case you were attacked in the rear. Any officer being caught in the rear should be cashiered anyway. Pikemen now trailing their pikes. This was a drill used for taking pikemen through rough terrain or woods or across rivers. And now recovering the pike to the advance. Now charging their pike for horse. The pike is plunged into the ground and the right foot placed across the pike. And a horse is an intelligent creature. He will not go, or she will not go galloping onto the head of those pikes. The powder will either be placed down the barrel in a loose form or will be in some form of paper cartridge. Now wadding being placed down the barrel, the wadding would normally be either paper or grass or straw or anything that could go down the barrel to prevent the powder from shaking loose and coming out. Wadding now being ramped up. And then after the wadding, the ball. These 1.5 pounder guns fire a cannonball which weighs 1.5 pounds. Range of approximately 500 yards. Powder now being placed on the touch hole. Gunner blows on his match. Ready to give fire. Attempted to fire the musket and there was just a flash in the pan. That would mean the musket would not fire. It's also the origins of that phrase, flash in the pan. Well, these obviously are expert gunners who do not have any misfires. Battalion now reforming. As you see, they march in column, but form in line. Line of battle. The drum major watches the battalion as it forms. When he sees the battalion has formed, he will tell his drummers to cease drumming. It is by the drum that the men keep in step. Major Barrett now orders Lieutenant Foster to bring forth the Pike Division to go through their postures. Marquess of Winchester is very proud of his regiment. They garrisoned Basing House for many, many years and stood off at least 3 parliamentarian sieges. my bias, they are gallant soldiers. Like the Parliamentarian Regiment, they have muskets and pike, exactly the same. In fact, it was a common event after a Civil War battle for the victorious army to recruit from the defeated army, from the prisoners they had taken. And many soldiers often ended up changing sides. And some changed sides so many times they weren't sure what side they were on. And they would simply do this by turning their coats inside out. So the old colour was on the inside and the new colour was on the outside. Hence the phrase turncoat. Royalist battalion now forming. Bringing their guns into position. I don't think that's woken them up either. Yes, the officer is now aware of his danger and is forming. As yet, no casualties. The distance is too great. These are the sorts of distances that the armies would fight at. Not like in modern warfare, with troops possibly miles apart, firing each other, never seeing the enemy. This is fighting face to face. You open up your barrage 400 or 500 yards, the armies get closer and closer until you come to push and pike. Now, I can assure you, ladies and gentlemen, I'm quite safe standing here. They couldn't hit a barn door at that range. Parliamentarian troops begin to sing their psalms. O all ye people of the world, praise ye the Lord, I say. We have researched the psalm that the Parliamentarian troops sing at the moment, and it was actually sung at the Battle of Dunbar against the Scots. Will Major Barrett soon advance his men in an attempt to push the Royalists from the top of the hill? At the moment, it is obvious that he believes that his firepower will drive the Royalists off. But the Royalists don't seem to be moving. Small example of the confusion that would happen on a major battlefield. Royalist gunners keeping up their fire upon the Parliamentarian, though I think they're firing a bit high at the moment. Royalists firing by rank. And the drummer goes down. It is essential that the officers and sergeants maintain discipline within the ranks at this stage of the battle. The men would turn and run if they could. It is only the officers and the sergeants that maintain them in their positions. Well, the Parliamentarians have scored their first hit, ladies and gentlemen. And I'm as amazed as you are. They obviously now have the confidence to advance down the hill upon the Parliamentarians, gaining ground. Fairfax's men now advancing up the hill. Will they attempt to charge? They're taking casualties. More Royalist casualties. I'm sure now, if Fairfax's men came up that hill, they could clear the Royalists from the field. But they do not have the courage to do so. The Royalist ensign flourishes the colours to show that the pikemen will attempt to engage in hand-to-hand combat. Pikemen charge their pikes. Come on to push a pike. For the Royalists, this is the crucial stage of the battle. If their line can hold, they will gain the day. Parliamentarians now retreating in disorder. The officers cannot hold them. Major Barrett rallies his men upon the colours, but there are too few of them left. As the Royalists now advance and scatter the Parliamentarians from the field. The Royalist troops, victorious, now pillage the dead and the wounded. Made
together, and they're all friends. So they spend a lot of time trying to kill each other, but then they're friends again. Now, Fairfax Battalia, as you can see, is a superb unit of new model army troops. And if you're inspired by the fights and drums or the muskets or pipes, and you want to fight for the Army of Parliament, well, you can always find out about joining later on down in the historical site. Round the pikemen go. The first division of musketeers, then the ensign with the drums, then the pikemen, then the second division of musketeers at the rear of the column. Quite a sight really, it's a very highly trained football troops, perhaps amongst the best of their time. Behind them, come the guns and hospital batteries, to the light siege. And they push the light gun up the hill. And at the rear, leading the defeated Parliamentarians with the plate of honour, which is nice of them, comes the victorious troops, the Royalists of the Marquess of Winchester's Regiment. Also a very highly trained unit of musketeers and pikemen in the Civil War Society. And if you are interested in seeing large battles of the English Civil War Society, about 2 or 3 times a year, about 1,000 come together and do battles all over the country. Now this is a column of probably about 150, 200 troops marching down the field. So you can imagine how much space a large army of about 10,000 men would take up marching on the roads. He's done a nice cut there to the head. And it was a favoured cut of the British cavalry to cut down through a Frenchman's head, because that was the easiest target. And he would also go for the shoulders as well. And you can imagine what that would do to the human body. It's really quite a horrible thought, isn't it? Look at that, he got all tucked forward. On they come at the charge. Now, if you're a French infantryman, what would you do? I think I'd go and change a library book. Now, obviously, they can't. Look a bit tame at the moment. I think they should yell a war cry or something. That's more like it. Banging their shields, which is very, very intimidating. Something the Romans also did, of course. They come past, you'll hear the shields. Morale of these troops was, of course, crucial to victory in battle. I wouldn't like to meet this lot on a dark night, I can tell you. Unless, of course, I was in a tank. And they're going to form further down the slope. And then we plunge forward through the years to the era of organised warfare, musket and pike. And coming on behind the Vikings, quite simply superb Fairfax Battalia of the English Civil War Society, amongst the best Civil War recreators in Britain. And as they come to pass, you'll be able to hear the wonderfully deep bass drum of the parliamentary musicians. On the top, they're completely different from modern drums. Behind the drummers march the pikemen, those fearsome pikes with steel tips, and yes, they were using steel tip pikes and they did their scripted combat. That's why only 25 of them were killed. Got well much that up. Behind the pikemen come the musketeers, the 2nd Division, Fairfax Battalia, guns of Rossiter's battery, and then the victors of the English Civil War battle that we fought earlier, the Marquess of Winchester's regiment, Royalists from the Oxford garrison, who fought very bravely throughout the English Civil War and fought and died for their king, Charles I. Again with pipes and drums. Now the interesting thing now is whether or not we can squeeze everybody on the field. I'm not entirely sure we can, but we'll see. And they're swinging down the slope. And I think, in actual fact, we're going to have to form 2 ranks here because we've got so many soldiers on the field, there isn't actually room for everybody in one line. Now we've got the British redcoats. Hang on, I can't quite see them more. So at the far end we have the Romans, and we've got the Vikings, they're all banging their shields quite dramatically. Then they've got the Civil War pikemen. Musicians are moving into place, and now we've got the World War I troops of the Great War Society, a superb group of living history enthusiasts who gave us that display in 1914. The World War II British Reconnaissance Squadron, and following them, the Hampshire Regiment, the Americans and the Germans. Right, and on come the British regulars. And because cavalry are terrific posers, we've left them to last. And first of all, the Roman cavalry come on, clattering at the back of the formation. And right behind the Roman cavalry, the 1st century AD, we've got the 12th Light Dragoons of the Napoleonic period. The standards of authenticity have come on something marvellous. The stage now where if you look at these troops, they're all exactly right for the historical eras they portray. So, ladies and gentlemen, before the troops go through a general salute, one at a time, in their own particular style, how about a big round of applause for our assembled re-enactment on the Civil Ages. Now we're going to do a general salute, rippling from right to left along their line, starting with the Romans. So, Centurio, in your own time, from the Army Strickguard. Vikings! Ladies and gentlemen, the Fairfax Battalia. And 1-2 back.